Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear students, I, Roxana Parveen, Senior Lecturer, Department of Biology, Milestone College, welcome you to the class number 24 from Chapter 8, Biology, second paper. Today, we will start the structure of eye. Before starting the topic, I want to tell you something regarding coronavirus effects. As you already know that there is nothing but keeping your immunity boosted up, or if you want to be safe from this virus, you have to have the strong immunity. So have a lot of vitamin C enriched food, proteinous food. So let's begin. Today's topic is the structure of eye. Today we will discuss about different aspects of human eye, and after finishing the lesson we will be able to know or describe different parts of eyeball. We will know about the roles of specific portions of eye. We may have knowledge about the coordination accomplished by eyes, and we'll get to know different parts of rod and cone cells of retina. There are 5 sense organs, which are, you already know, eyes, ears, tongue, skin and nose. All of these are run by the sensory nerves. How many parts of eyes are there? If the question comes that explain the structure of eye, so you may answer in this way. You have to answer to the point, and if you concise your answer like this, layers, chambers, lens, eye muscles and accessories, so that would be perfect eye case. There are 3 layers of the eyeball: sclera, outermost, choroid, the middle one, and retina, the internal wall. There are 2 chambers: aqueous humor and vitreous humor, 1 bilaterally convex lens, 2 pairs of eye muscles, and some eye accessories like iris, then conjunctiva, cornea, optic nerves, ciliary ligaments and so on. So let's have a look on this diagram. You may follow this diagram to draw the structure of eye like this. At first you may use the compass and draw a circle. At one side you have to be quite convex over there, or extended portion, which is the cornea, and outermost portion is the sclera. You see, sclera is connected to the cornea, okay, and the middle one is the choroid, and internal gray colored is called the retina, though their colors are not defined as this figure. To make easily understand that this color is here. However, you see the innermost retina is connected to the optic nerve, and the middle one, choroid, is quite extended at the anterior portion, having some ciliary ligaments and anteriorly iris muscles, which control the entrance of the light rays by forming hollow space called pupil over there. That means light comes from here, enters the internal portion of the eyeball, finally from the retina. Well, there is the more extensive structure of the retina. See, the outer portion of the retina, which is connected to the basement retinal pigment epithelium, or RPE, is connected to the rod and cone cells, and just after the rod and cone cells anteriorly are the bipolar cells, and innermost is called the ganglion cells. The ganglion cells are finally the cells or sensitive tissues which connect to the optic nerve to pass the photosensitive impulses. Well, let's have a look on this different numbering or bullet points over there, and this one. Right, So there is an explanation of different parts of the eye. You may have separate points on these. You may make a note over there that is sclera, that is 1, then conjunctiva 2, like this. So the sclera is a tough and thick layer, white sheet that protects the inner parts of eye. Conjunctiva is a thin transparent membrane that is spread across the sclera and keeps the eyes moist and clear by secreting small amounts of mucus and tears. The cornea is the transparent layer of skin that is spread over the pupil and the iris. The job of the cornea is to refract the light that enters the eyes. Iris is a pigmented layer of tissue that makes up the colored portion of eye. Its primary function is to control the size of the pupil, as I already told, and depending on the amount of light entering it. The pupil is a small opening located in the middle of the iris. The internal structure of eye includes retina, lens, aqueous humor, and vitreous humor, and finally optic nerve. The retina is the screen at the end of the eye where all the images are formed. It is extremely sensitive to light because of the presence of photoreceptors, which are photosensitive cells that detect the dim and colored lights. Lens is biconvex and transparent, adjustable structure that focuses light to the retina. Aqueous humor is watery fluid that is present in the area between the lens and cornea. It is responsible for the nourishment of both the lens and the cornea. Vitreous humor, whereas, is a transparent semi-solid jelly-like substance that fills the interior of eyes. Its role is that it maintains the shape of the eye and also causes refraction of light before it reaches the retina. Optic nerve located at the end of the eyes, behind the retina. The optic nerve is responsible for carrying all the nerve impulses from the photoreceptors to the brain, without which vision would not be possible. This is the 3D structure of the eye. Well, how we see? The simple diagram is here. You see there's an object. The light rays are entering the eyeball, having refracted by the transparent eye lens. That's the focal point of focus, and the reversed image is formed over there on the wall of retina. The same picture is there. Well, there is an explanation of this mechanism. You may have a note. Well, that's the internal and detailed structure of the retina wall, and that's the optic nerve fiber you see, which is connected to the ganglion cell, and the ganglion cells are connected to the bipolar cells, and bipolar cells are connected to the dendron of the rod cells and cone cells. So here, that's the immediate pigment epithelium of the retina wall inside the eyeball, which is followed by the rod and cone cell layers, and next is bipolar neurons layer, and finally ganglion cells to pick all the photosensitive messages to the optic nerve fibers. Here's the detailed structure of the rod and cone cells. You see, rod cells are having the groups or enfolding. These are called the microvilli, which are composed of rhodopsin color pigments and a lot of mitochondria at the middle, and at the base nucleus, round shaped nucleus, and finally synaptic body. And whereas the cone cells having the iodopsin pigments or photopigments, which are found at the inner groups. You see, these are the finest group, that means cytoplasmic membrane, which are also known as microvilli. Yeah, and that is the cone-like structure. You see, there is a tiny neck or group. Okay, and finally more mitochondria over there, right? And here at the neck position or the portion, there is a large nucleus having a long structure called the axon, and finally the synaptic terminals are there to pass the photosensitive impulses. There is a difference between rod and cone cells. There are a lot of points I mentioned, and you may choose among them, and in the final exam you have to write at least 5 meaningful differences to get 3 out of 3. Or if the comparison comes between rod and cone cells, you should mention some similarities too. Then you may mention 5 or 6 dissimilarities, and finally decide that which one is responsible for dash and dash, and finally you should write the conclusion. There's an important point over there, that the average number of rods in humans is 120 million each cell, and here is a 6 million. You see the differences, and they're extremely sensitive. Rods are extremely sensitive to the lower levels of light, and cone cells are very low or very sensitive to very low light, and they are cone cells are very sensitive to the bright light. Rod cells can trigger even by single photon of light, and they are lot of sensitivity is needed for triggering the cone cells. Rod cells help in the low light vision or scopic vision, and cone cells help in the photopic vision or daylight vision. Only one type of visual pigment is present in rod cell, whereas there are 3 types of visual pigments are found, such as blue, green, and red. Rods possess very rapid regenerative power, but their regenerative power is less. Okay, I think that you made notes on this, right? If you have any problems in understanding the lecture, please comment below on the YouTube video or at your group. Fine. So we are at the level of termination now. The homeworks are, of course, you should take the homework as a kind of feedback, staying at home without wasting the time. Draw and level the diagram of human eye. You may follow that diagram I showed. Differences between rod and cone cells, at least 6 meaningful points, of course. Definitions of the fovea centralis, photoreceptors, conjunctiva, accommodations, and binocular vision. Here, accommodation is such kind of mechanism to see the nearer or distant vision or distant objects by adjusting the eyelids and iris muscles without changing the distance. Okay, and binocular vision means we have 2 eyes. You may have a practical at your home that you close one eye and try to see one object by your eyes, and let's try alternatively, and you see the points are changing. But when we observe any vision, any object by our 2 eyes together, we get the single, precise, and overall image of an object. That is called binocular vision. That means they adjust their angles. Okay, so